Hey y'all, it's Sweetz. I just came on briefly to share a video, a simple video, a quick video. Um, I'm just trying out some new things. So anyway, in this video, I want to share my experience of how I got my credit score up. So this was like 2017, maybe March. I didn't know how good or bad my credit was, but I knew I had been consistently paying my bills on time, for several years. But there was still probably at least 4 or 5 years of living where I live at. I was paying my rent on time and other things. I didn't have a credit card, so there was nothing else to pay, other than your light bill and stuff like that. So I was paying the things on time for the most part. So in 2017, around March, I wanted a Camaro. So I went to our local dealership, Freedom Chevrolet, to go ahead and give me a Camaro. I had been wanting me a new Camaro, and I'm gonna get one. I had been writing it on my board, my vision board, and my gratitude journal, all these things. So I went up there, and so just thinking I was gonna get me one. So my best friend, I think that she got with me, or she met me up there. I think we might have went together, but she might have took me because I thought I was gonna leave with one. Ain't no telling about me, child. That might have been it. But because I always think positive. I always think positive, and I know I'm doing all the right things. So anyway, let me get into this video. So we went up there, and so the lady, apparently I don't know what my credit score was, but they wasn't having it. So she was like, what you could do is go get you a secured credit card. Go get your secured loan, and she said do that. And so I left her and went and did that either that day or the next day. I went to do that. I went to a credit union that I was already a part of. I was already a part of this credit union. And so I went in there and told them what I was trying to do. So I spoke with one of the ladies, and she said that, okay, let's open up a secured loan. And when you open up a secured loan, you could get a secured credit card also. And so what secured loan means basically is you're using your own money. So when I went to find some research to show y'all, because I don't have no receipts, I wasn't on social media, I wasn't trying to do nothing. I just wanted to get my credit cleaned up to get a car, basically. So needed to have my credit, but anyway, I wanted to get me a car, so that's what I was doing. And so when I went in there and spoke with her, she was like, okay. Wait a minute, y'all. What I was trying to say? I was trying to tell y'all what it is. So a secured loan is you use your own money, secured loan through this credit union or bank, or whoever you choose to do it through. And so I did that, and I think you had to have $300. And so the easy part about it, I have the $300, and then by me setting it up to come from this account to pay for the credit card within that institution, that credit union. With that bank. With that credit union, I was able to just set it up and not do anything. So here's my $300, or it might have been $600, or I think it was $300 though. Okay, as I was saying, so she, when you do a secured loan, you're using your own money that's there, and like loaning it to yourself. But it's going to the bank, but it's going to eventually be yours again. It's still yours. I'm probably not explaining it right, but once you go into the place to do your secured loan, you'll see they'll help you see. I'm just letting y'all know how easy it is to get your credit, to start working on your credit yourself instead of paying someone to clean it up and all that, because I never even thought about doing that. I was just like, well, I'm just, just gonna have this kind of credit. Never mind that. But anyway, and also by this time, I already had one car that I was still driving that was paid off, that I paid off. It took a long time to pay it off, but I had one paid for a car, and I had been consistently keeping my bills, paying them on time. So, I don't even know what my credit score was that day that I couldn't get a car, or I don't even remember that, or why she was like, this is what you do. But I'm glad that she told me this is what you do. And in 6 months, something. And so in 6 months, things turned around from March to when I started back trying to look for a car again. So, so that's what I was saying. So by me setting it up on auto pay, I never had to do nothing to worry about missing a payment, because the bank was doing everything for me. On this day, this money was coming out. This day, this money was coming out for 6 months. And so that helped me that helped to show that I can pay that I got good credit history, that I have something and I'm paying on time. So that was the easy way. And so also with that, the young lady told me to get a secured credit card. Um, the lady I was dealing with at the credit union. So I don't know if those come hand in hand or what, is that automatic? So anyway, I got the secured credit card, and with that credit card, I was using it, but also paying it right, paying it off in, a few weeks or something, just not paying it, paying the full amount off. So that was like two things I had working for me. So long story short, that is how I got my credit up to par. And I don't know where I started from because I don't know, but apparently I needed to get some credit in order to get this car. So around October, I guess that's when by that time the 6 months were over. So then I started trying to see about getting. So anyway, around that time I started trying to start looking for a car. Knew I wanted the Camaro, but why didn't I just go right back up there? I don't know. I think I started working with the credit union to find me a car so that they could finance it. I think that's what I was doing. And so in that process, it just didn't go right for me to use the credit union at that point. At that time it didn't. So this was October, so I say by September, that's when the 6 months were up. So my credit should be looking good and all that, I guess, and I'm signed up with Credit Karma, just all these things that I've done. Credit Karma, that's just like a good something to kind of show you a general idea of what your credit is doing. But the credit bureaus have, more accurate number of what your credit score is. And I never went to the credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion to see what my number was. At this point, I still hadn't thought about it for whatever reason. So October, life was happening now that at that point I was still into my exercise and all those things that I do. I was in the gym at that time. I was going to the gym in 2017. Yeah, that's when I started going to the LA Fitness Gym the first time. And so, just going on working, doing whatever I'm doing. And so it was going to be, it was Halloween and I was at work and I was just like, what, whatever reason, the credit union, whoever I was trying to deal with, the credit union, it wasn't working out. I can't remember exactly what happened, but it wasn't working out. And it was the same credit union that I was a part of, but it just wasn't working out for some reason. I think I was using my credit union. Why wouldn't I? If that's the one that I had did everything at. But anyway, how stuff just have to line up. God know what he be doing. So I was like, why? I was upset. In other words, I was upset, and I just I was some kind of way. And I remember talking to my coworker the next day at work. For whatever reason, she may have been going through something, and I was dealing with this car situation, not working out. Them trying to find me a car, never going back to the dealership to do it that way. But so I remember crying that day and praying. So this was like the 31st, and so on the 4th, which was also my anniversary, was my 5th. 2017. It was my 5th year anniversary of exercise that day. So I think that was 1825, 365 times 5, something like that. 1825 or 1885, some kind of. It was my anniversary, so I wasn't even all the way prepared for my anniversary, which I celebrate every year. I'm making this video so long, y'all. I'm just trying to show y'all what y'all can do, but giving y'all some behind story behind it for me. So hopefully y'all enjoying this. And so that Friday night before then, I went up to the dealership with a friend. I rode up there with a friend to the dealership because they also had a convertible Camaro that they had, and they got from up there, so they knew a salesman. So that night I went up there, they were about to close, and so they ran the stuff and all that, they how they run your stuff or whatever. And I was like, whatever, what I'm saying. So that night, the man, how people can be kind of, car salesmen, y'all know how they can kind of be. They can kind of be slick, but they can also be very friendly, But anyway, so I did that, and so that he was like, he showed me the cars that they had certified pre-owned instead of a brand new car, and they was like, you know, that you should get a new car. The new car that they showed me, the new one, it was black, and I always thought I was gonna get black, you know, black on black outlet like that. But the car that they showed me, it didn't look better than the certified pre-owned one, which was like a dark gray with a convertible top, and then I think it was gonna be more or something. I was like, oh, this one look better. The rims on it, everything look better than this plain one, you know, or whatever. So I was like, I like that. So the man ran my stuff, and I don't have no paperwork. I'm a hairstylist, and you know, I don't have no paperwork. At this point, I don't have nothing to show. This got the money, I got the credit or whatever to get this, you know, to get this car. So just leave me alone with the rest of that. So y'all know sometimes things just be the way they are. So I give him my information and all that. And so he said, he told me the next day to come, don't worry about no paperwork, you know. And I was like, what? So, you know, that night I was like, okay, you know, said, and this is the car I'm thinking about. I'm getting now, the convertible, 2017 convertible, and it's November 2017. So I'm thinking this the car I want or whatever. So I'm like, I'm gonna need some probably some down payment money. Although I have a car for trade-in, you know, I do have a car for trade-in. I had an what you call it, a Mitsubishi Eclipse, a blue Mitsubishi Eclipse that I got in 2002, and this is the car I've been having this whole time. I've been having this car for 15 years. I've had different service done to the car over the years. You know, the car still looks cute. You know, it's old, it's paid for, it's mine, it's been paid for several years. It took longer to pay for it than it should have, but it's been paid for several years at this paid for, and I just been having a free car, you know. I mean, a car just paying insurance, and sometimes the car will have problems, but you know, thank God for the resources and the people that, you know, were around me to help me get the car fixed and stuff like that. Never no transmission, engine and stuff like that. Just no little stuff that you know have to deal, you know, that you have to deal with. So I'm making the story long, y'all, but I hope that y'all can appreciate this and, you know, learn. I hope I'm helping y'all, and I'm, you know, showing y'all just what I learned, my experience, and I feel like how God blessed me in the midst of it, and just dealing with life and all the things that come with that too. So so that morning, you know, I did get the money from somebody, the down payment for it. I did get the money from somebody, although I had it. I believe I had it. Did I have it? I had it, but I didn't want to be broke. So somebody that I love, that's dear to me, that always do stuff for me, loan me the money and allow me to pay the down payment back to them in increments, you know. So that blessed me. So anyway, I went in, and everything was just so different from a car buying experience. It's like when you have your numbers, when that means your credit numbers are up, you have more power. And so I didn't realize, you know, the power that I had. You know, I didn't even know. And so when they tried to find a lender, you know, a person to finance the car, you know, they run it through 2 or 3 people or whatever to get it financed or such. And at this point, I didn't even know that my credit score was like 751. So I don't know where I came from to get to 751, but this is good to get a car. And you know, so anyway, I didn't show no paperwork. Slid a debit card to pay the deposit, you know. So back when I had bought a car a long time ago, it was different. It's like you can take a credit card, your deposit card, I mean your debit card, and slide and do it all like that. So I did that, got a payment of it was in the 4 something or whatever. So that was good. And so then when I went to set up the insurance, I had already still had insurance on my Mitsubishi. That car was overinsured because I was paying $100 or something for an old car insurance for full coverage. And so when I got the Camaro, okay, now my insurance is about to be $100 and something. So I'm already conditioned on paying $100 and something. So it wasn't like I was coming from paying $40 insurance, now I'm about to pay $100 and something. So it's like that worked out. You know, that was already lined up. I got a car better than I wanted, because I didn't want no Camaro, because I'm shy. I'm not gonna be letting no top down. Nobody not gonna be looking at me through, you know, through that. And so I got that car, and it felt so me, so sporty, so me. You know, I enjoyed having a convertible. Although a convertible is not something that I ever dreamed of having. I just wanted to have a sunroof. And so the other car they showed me first, it didn't have a sunroof. It was just a plain Camaro. It was just the next year's model. So the car that I got was the best car for me. It looked like me. People would always say, that look like you. That's got to be your car. That car looked like you and all that. So I enjoyed having that car. It was a blessing. You know, I was paying it on time. And in the midst of that, I was able to refi. When I went to get my insurance, I had State Farm insurance at the time. And State Farm also had a bank at that time. It was like, you want to refinance it? Right when I bought it, I was like, I just bought it, hours ago or yesterday or whatever. They were like, yeah, we still can do it, but I didn't do it then. So about 3 months later, I was calling about some insurance. I called State Farm about some insurance for my job because our salon had been broken into. So I was trying to see about some salon insurance and that and such. And so in the midst of that, they was like, well, do you want to refi your car? And so I end up doing it with them. And then in that process, I end up getting some money back, a nice little lump sum back of money, because it didn't happen right then. I didn't get the money right then. It took maybe 4 or 5 months before it ever ended up getting the money. I ended up getting the money back. But in the refi, the car payment went down, and some months later I got some money. I got a check, that they were supposed to give it to me sooner, but because it months kept going, it I guess they owed me more. And it was also with State Farm at that time, State Farm Bank and State Farm Finance, and they had their own gap insurance, so I didn't no longer need to be purchasing gap, so didn't have to purchase the price of gap. I hope I'm saying that right, as far as I remember. So they had their own gap insurance, and so there was no need to have that cost or whatever. So it was like that worked out for me, and it was just like that was the beginning of me knowing that having credit is like having good credit it gives you a sense of achievement, or feeling like something, like I'm doing something, because it counts when you're trying to buy something and do things or whatever. Having good credit counts. So anyway, my car would have been paid for last year or 2022 or something. The Camaro would have been paid for, but of course, I had an accident in the car. Somebody ran a stop sign and hit me in that car and towed the car out. And that could have been a terrible situation, but God had He always has me. And there are other things that I was going through at the time, and had been going through since a couple years before that I was working through. And I always say that when God gives me when He leads me to talk more about things that I deal with in life or things like that, I will talk about that. But anyway, so that happened, and so I had I was like, I got to get a new car. I had never had a situation where I was in a car accident, so I didn't know you're in a car accident, you get okay, yeah, they totaled you out, they pay your car off, and okay, we're gonna let that go. So anyway, you pay your car off. They paid my car off because it wasn't my fault. The lady that hit me, we both had State Farm, so that was an easy situation. The only thing I hate with the insurance companies is that when it's not your fault, but you still pay. Your insurance still goes up. They tell you that it won't, but it does. And in between that time, I've had two type of situations where both times my car was parked in my apartments, and someone hit my car on 2 occasions, so that I had to file a hit and run. So so all that stuff go against you. But thank you, Lord. So anyway, so this in this situation, I didn't know. Okay, they paid for my car, and I was like thinking, I got to find me a car. But in that situation, they paid the car off, and then some more stuff. And I don't want to elaborate on there, but a situation ended up being somewhat of a blessing. So and then I was able to get a car that I never would have thought that I would have even got, because I was gonna be Chevrolet till I can't no more. Chevrolet Camaro, that's what that is. That's sporty, and that's what that is. You understand me? And so I wasn't even thinking about no other car, let's known a somewhat luxury car that that I didn't have to have that. But just one thing led to another, and somebody mentioned something, and that's how I got it. And so just with that, I'm going on and on with the story, not trying to, I'm just telling you, coming from nothing to something, but still not really having nothing, but having credit. And so your credit can get you places or afford you things that even if you don't have the money to pay for them, because you got the credit, it's like you got the respect of it. So when I decided to go get this car, I don't like driving much. I don't like driving everywhere. I caught an Uber to the Lexus place, And I saw the car online, and so over the weekend I was like, Lord, if it's for me, whatever, this, that, and the other. I prayed on it, and all the things that I do, my things that I do, and left it at that. So I called me an Uber out there and went to the place, and first of all, I got my financials not through my credit union. I went through somebody else just so I could already have some numbers in case they tried to, tell me something. Like, well, now this is what I got. So I went through Capital One, just to let them know I got, I got my own stuff. So I went out there and I saw the car that I wanted. And so how they take a test drive. I'm not taking a test drive. I allowed them to drive me. It's what this is or whatever. But then I was like, at the same time, if this ain't what this is, there's another luxury car place across the street and down the street. So if it's not gonna be Lexus, it could be this kind or that kind. I'll go there because I know my numbers are good. So I have a feeling of, how they like to go to the back and start calculating up numbers. Oh no, I'm gonna walk outside and decide, do I want to stay here and get this? So like I had so much. I just felt so like I can walk away. I don't have to do this. So I can get what I want. I can get what I want. Never mind not having the money, but I got the status, the credit status that I can get this. And so when they was going around, and then I had learned something from one of these channels that I watched, these business channels. I can't remember which one I was watching, but it was these people that talk about, credit and all this stuff. And so it was like, when I went in there, I asked them to take some money off the price of the car. I did that, without not being scared and all that. Like, can you take something off of the car? Just with authority. Like either you can or you can't. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have to get this car. I like it and all that. And at that time, it wasn't. In 2022, the cars, from the pandemic and all that stuff, they still wasn't having no cars. They wasn't having cars on the lot, so I couldn't get a Camaro. I couldn't, and then I didn't like the newer model Camaros that they had. Still, my older model, 17 or 19, looked better than whatever the 22 was or whatever to me. And so I was like, nah, that ain't what that is. So it's like, that's why I went to try something different. And somebody else planted the seed in my head to try to see about something different because they had this kind of car, this brand of car. So why am I making this story so long, y'all? Thank y'all for just listening and ride with me. This is not no brag. This is just I promise this ain't no brag, because having a different kind of car, different kind of things come with it. Some blessing kind of things come with it, some stuff, but also everything costs more. The gas costs more. If something happens, it costs more than regular, your average cars, whatever, tires and all that stuff. It costs more than your regular tires. So it's a blessing, but it's more come with it. So who much is given, much is required. That type of stuff. So I could have stayed regular. But I choose to think as this is God's glory. And sometimes when people can look at me from where I've come from and to where I am, and they can see the God part, because it's all Him. This ain't none of me. It's all Him. Just me being in line, lining up with the things I'm supposed to do, doing the things I'm supposed to do as unto Him, and these are the things that happen. But anyway, I want to say so much more, like for the blessing pause, but it's just like I can't say that, because sometimes family and friends, people, they can't. I don't know. It's just not the right time. It's just not the right time. So anyway, just with that being said, good credit can help you even if you don't have cash money. While you're working on your stuff to get whatever you need, having good credit can help you do things that you wouldn't even think that you could do. So that's the blessing. So anyway, I don't have any related videos to this, but I'll just link some more of my videos. So I hope that you will watch. Thank you all for rocking with me. I hope that I helped you in some way. And I meant this to be a short video, y'all. I meant for it to be short, but hopefully you enjoyed the stories, and that you can appreciate the steps. So get you a secured loan and a secured credit card to rock with that, to help you get your credit better. And I think if you know somebody that has good credit and they have like a brand name credit card, Discover, American Express, they can put you on their credit card because their credit is good. And by adding you, I think that is that adds some weight to your credit too, somewhat, a little bit, you know, long as they keep their credit good. So I think that's also a thing that helps. That's something that I did with my son. I added him to one of my credit cards to, you know, to help him. I don't know if it helped, you know what I'm saying, but it definitely can't hurt. Okay, y'all. Thank you for watching. I hope I've helped you in some kind of way, and thank you for just letting me share my story. Okay, talk to you later. Bye bye.